Hi there, everybody. How you doing? My name is Aaron Montgomery. Some of you may know me from the Two Regular Guys podcast, and I'm the owner and operator of Montco Consulting. Been in the industry for many years here, and I am super excited today to get a chance to talk to Chris Saunders, who's with the Insta Graphic Systems. And we're going to talk some heat presses today, Chris. Are you ready to do that?
I am. Thank you, Aaron, for the introduction.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think, I'm always excited to share information with people and kind of give them, things so they can go and make really good decisions on their part. And I think, we've kind of put together some things here today that is going to give them the details they need to make smart purchasing decisions when they're ready to invest in a heat press machine. So let's dive into this. So first I want to start off with, we all know that buying a heat press is a very important investment for a decorator. It's kind of the centerpiece of everything that they're really going to do in their digital decorating business or beyond. So what are some of the factors that you would say people need to consider when they're making that investment in their business?
Well, there's really four important factors that I think in any heat press, no matter who you purchase. And heat is probably the most important.
Okay.
It's really important that you have even heat distribution across the platen. Today I have the 256, which is a 16 by 20 inch platen. But you want to make sure that the heat is equal and consistent in the center and also to all the edges. That means here, here, and here. Cold spots on any kind of application mean that your heat is not consistent across your platen area.
Yeah.
We do what's called a cast-in tubular heating element, which makes sure that the heat is distributed and it's not one or two different coils. There's actually one coil.
Wow.
My second thing is even pressure. Even if you have the best heat, the most consistent heat, if the pressure isn't equal across the platen area, it won't make a perfect transfer. So what we do is actually a little trick is what's called the dollar bill test. So when you actually apply, on the front you want to make sure that you cannot pull this dollar bill out. So I want you to go to the back. Again, can you pull it? No. And the front. So this is a really good test in the industry when you're trying to decide which heat press to purchase, that you actually bring a piece of paper or a dollar bill, not a 20.
You may walk away.
You might walk away if you rip it. And try it across the platen. So even heat and pressure are top two, but three in the industry, it's what we call heat recovery. So when you're pressing, for example, for 10 or 15 seconds, and this platen is down, when you're done and you need to apply, you want to make sure that your temperature goes back up to where you started, that your temperature is not dropping 10 or 20 degrees, that when you come back up, this doesn't say 357, but it says to 378. We guarantee that ours are a 2.5 degree variance, either below or above. And the fourth is the construction of your machine. We use cast-in tubular heating elements. We use die cast. As you can see, our machines are robust, and that means they're built to last.
Yeah.
Ergonomics, like we know, Aaron, are extremely important. Having a wraparound handle for our operator. This allows you to move it very smooth, not be grabbing for it up here or down here, but movement. A very ergonomic and easy handle that's large enough to put two hands. And then when you're moving your pressure, you're not grabbing for your pressure knob, but it's actually here. So ergonomics is also important, especially to the operator, what has to stand in front of the machine all day long.
Yeah, exactly. As we talked, this is the centerpiece of your business. So all these things are so key, with your heat. You don't want to be ruining every other product because you have cold spots. The pressure, the same thing. If you're a sublimator, boy, you're going to ruin a ton of blanks if your pressure is not even. and then that heat recovery. How much can you create on a day-to-day basis? All those things are super important. And like you said, anybody that's done any pressing on a heat press, the ergonomics are so important because, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours later, you want to be able to walk out of there and not crawl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyone, no matter what heat press you buy, I think those 4 key features you really need to understand and be educated about.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, let's talk about some of the factors that go into choosing some of the options that are available on a heat press. There's lots of different variations out there. So for starters, what's the difference between a clamshell and a swing away, and where do each of these possibly fit into a decorator's world?
Okay. A clam press is exactly what it is. What it means is a clam moves up and down, and so does your heat press. So there's no swinging away like the motion that I'm showing you on the 256.
Yeah.
It actually goes up and down. Clam presses have a lot of value in the industry. They are in small retail shops. They are used with DTG just for the sake that a 20-second dwell, this machine will open up on its own for you. You're not standing there. If you're a one-man shop, the phone's ringing, you have a customer, oh, I forgot I'm applying something, but it opens up for you. A lot of entry-level customers are using clam presses, and especially as a component or an accessory going into the direct-to-garment. Now, my favorite is the swing away, and there's several factors why. This swings away and allows you to work the platen top to bottom, side to side. So the heat is away from your hands, your face, and your body. And like we said, for operators such in a sports shop that are doing this constantly day in and day out, able to letter and number a jersey, you can see the entire platen area. Swing away, to me, is the best option for sports shops, for transfer manufacturers, rhinestones, when you need to see that platen area and really visualize what you are pressing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I've got no hair on the back of my hands from using clamshell presses over the years. So
I have a few burns that I don't want to show you.
Yeah, I hear you. And I don't know if people know this about me, but I'm big time into sublimation, and I think a clamshell is okay, and I know people use them for sublimation, but the swing away press is definitely preferred there too because of the evenness of the pressure that you get. Instead of it closing, like you said, like a clam, it's coming straight down for you, and it makes sublimating so much easier as well.
And another factor too, Aaron, is with the sublimation on a clamshell, there's actually, and I'll demonstrate just a little bit at a jerk when it will open. Mm-hmm. So it's what's called ghosting, as we all know. Yep. So that will move the paper and cause a ghosting, and then it releases up. So anybody sublimating on anything, especially metal, which we do a lot of, yep. That ghosting will occur with a clam press.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, those are some good options, some good things to know. Maybe the next thing to consider is a manual versus an automatic style press. So tell us a little bit more about those and where your choices come in there.
Okay. Actually, you can see an automatic machine behind me.
Okay.
And this is our model 728. The beauty of an automatic machine is it actually goes down and releases, and all the operator does is swing it away. So my rule of thumb is 250 garments or more or applications. For your operator's sake, use an automatic.
Yeah.
You can press, you can prep, and all the work's done by the machine. It's a 2-button operation for ergonomic sake. You press the 2 buttons, the machine will go down, the machine releases on a time factor, and you swing it, just like we do with the manual.
Okay.
They're both the same heating element. There's no difference in the element. It's just how much work you want your operator to be doing day in and day out. Our 700 series, our 800 series are known very well in the apparel industry throughout the world for workmanship and the quality that it puts out day in and day out, 24/7.
Yeah. And you have a lot better control over your pressure as well with that air. So, and like you said, you're going to be worn out after 200, 250 or so of those, and you want your workers to be happy while they're making your products for you.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's really a great option. So you guys seem to have something for everybody. And I know you've got a huge portfolio of different options because you really can find something to fit everybody's needs. But maybe give us some more background on the differences of those things, some of those where they might fit. You know, we've talked a little bit about sublimation, but maybe, you know, if you're doing vinyl or where does some of these fit?
Right. We do have a complete portfolio of equipment. We have something for the entry level, which is a small hobby press, 13 by 13. People entering the market, hobby crafters, which is huge right now. Schools use the 201, which allows you, and it's also a swing away, which is great. It's just a little smaller platen, but it has the same workmanship that we see in the 256. So hobby press 201. We do have a cap press, which you can see here. Excuse me, to here. And the cap press is actually used in labeling and for left chest, arms, legs. People use it a lot. It's very portable as well. Both of those machines are around 75 pounds. So moving them, taking them on the road. We see a lot of them at fairs. Or where people are doing on-the-spot application with their transfer products.
Okay. But
going into sublimation, Aaron, I think that's where in the last couple of years we've really shined, where we have the entry-level 256, but our new manual 288 with a 20 by 25-inch platen allows you to do the panels, can do metal, any cut piece work, and as we know in sublimation in sports, it's huge. And then our new 1020, which is a dual platen automatic machine, 40 by 48 for all kinds of sublimating, which is probably the biggest growth area in our industry in the last, what do you say, 5 years?
Absolutely, yeah. It's blown up in the last 5 years for sure.
Right. Anything from socks to cut piece to full metal panel. We have people printing koozies. We have people printing lanyards in a huge way. It's just huge, and it's the heat press is actually the most important part of it, believe it or not.
Yep.
You can have the best dye-sub printer, the best paper, but if your heat press doesn't provide you with the heat and the pressure, it didn't really matter, because it is the key to the perfect transfer application.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Chris, yeah, you talked about that 40 by 48. So you obviously can even get into all over decoration as well with that size, and with the dual platen, that really goes a long way.
It is exactly. We have a major player in the industry that went and is promoting this equipment for two reasons. Again, what we talked about a little bit earlier is heat recovery time. And the heat across that entire platen is perfect, top to bottom, side to side. Anytime you're doing all over print, you want to make sure that your heat is consistent, especially in sublimation. Not so much pressure, but the heat has to be consistent to provide the perfect transfer as well.
Exactly. Because of all of the ups and downs of your seams and where the shirt construction comes together. Like I said, if you don't have that even heat, you're going to be able to notice it from one side to the next. And, you know, with shirts, or you mentioned the metal pieces, you know, that's even more important to have that nice even heat from one side to the next, all the way out to where, you know, those metal blanks can cost you in the neighborhood of $20, $30, $40 or more sometimes, depending on what kind of a product you're working with. And if you don't have a quality heat press there, you might as well just send those $100 bills to me instead.
Okay. We've also found that just-in-time manufacturing, as we know, is the current craze, and everybody has to be prepared for it. For large volume, using calendar prints for sublimation for sportswear, but there's a lot of fill-in orders that come after the fact.
Yep.
And using a heat press such as the 1020 and cut pieces in manufacturing has really helped fill the bill for just-in-time manufacturing and fill-in orders.
Absolutely. And I could see that fitting with, somebody even doing sampling for some of these bigger facilities and whatnot too. So fill in sampling the whole 9 yards. That's amazing.
Cool. It's exactly right.
Okay. Well, Chris, I guess you probably feel a little bit like you're preaching to the choir here, talking to me. I've been a longtime fan of the Insta graphic machines and love what you guys are doing there. But tell some people, what maybe they're on the fence, though. They're not quite like me. But what separates you guys from some of the other manufacturers out there?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk about it, Aaron. We do this all day long at trade shows or in our sales and marketing. But why Insta? Number one, and most important, is we have all regulatory CE, UL, and ETL regulations approvals on every piece of our equipment. To me, that's number one. The safety, there's no question. We back our equipment, and they have gone through all the regulatory. Two, by far, we have the best heat and pressure distribution in the industry. We've been imitated a lot, but I don't think we can. I don't think we can say that it is not the best.
Yep.
And that's why people come to us. Three, our machines are built to last. You're going to have one for 20 or 30 years. You don't have to buy another one.
Yep.
And our customers really are a testament to that. It's built to last. It's simple. It's solid. And like our customers say, you're going to have one relationship. It might be an Insta, it must be an Insta, and then there's everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. I've met so many people in my years of traveling through this industry that have had their Insta press, like I said, 20, 30 years. And in fact, there was a young lady that sticks out to me. I met her in Minnesota one time, and she said she's used her Insta every day for 30 years. And it still was going strong. So
right.
I asked her just to stand next to me at that particular show and help me out.
Exactly. And our customers really sell our equipment for us at trade shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're our best testimonials.
Great. Well, one other thing I wanted to just mention here, based on what you just told us there, I think some folks in the United States might not think about this as much, but when you mention the UL and the CE and those requirements that you guys meet, that is a big deal. Certainly a huge deal in Europe, but I think here in the States we need to understand those things too, because you can just feel confident that you're going to, be safe. Your employees are going to be safe. Things are going to work well for you. So I don't want to pass that up. And then, Chris, the other thing that I guess I wanted to point out is we talked a little bit about sublimation and stuff today, but you also, one of the things that I've been involved with in my past is laser transfers. And you guys are the go-to heat press for anybody doing laser transfers because of that high pressure and the heat and evenness. When you've got a $5 laser toner transfer sheet that you're dealing with, ruining one of those hurts a bit. So maybe talk to us a little bit about where you guys fit into that laser transfer system.
Right. We have, there's probably a handful of major manufacturers around the globe that do both color copy paper and laser paper. It is extremely important that the pressure on the machine provides the perfect transfer. Anybody can buy pieces of equipment from China and other places, not realizing that it's not so much the heat, but it is the pressure. That pressure has to go down into the garment and make sure that the next time you put it in the wash, that laser copy or color copy does not just wash out.
Yeah.
We've actually developed private label equipment for this industry to make sure that it provides the perfect pressure that they need. And it's a lot of pressure. And with that, with the workmanship of the machine, you have to make sure that every time you do this, it's going to work. So it requires a lot of workmanship in the machine, on the internal portions of the machine, your cam, and the piston and anything that you do, whether it's a manual or an automatic. But pressure is key of all the 4 items we spoke about a minute ago. Yep. Pressure in the color copy industry is number 1.
Awesome. Well, this has been awesome. I think if anybody's on the fence still, come talk to me, because this pretty much sums it all up and gives you everything you need to know to buy a heat press and have what you need. Chris, let's give the viewers here real quick where they can find you guys, both on the web and social media, if you don't mind.
So it's www.instagraph.com. We have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. We also have videos that we do how-to videos for customers, how to apply in different types of substrates. So join us. We have a blog as well. Awesome. And just visit our webpage, and all of it is showing up on the top toolbar.
Perfect. Okay, great. Well, if anybody wants to talk to me directly about it, please find me at aaronmontgomery.info or through the podcast over at 2 Regular Guys. That's the number 2 regularguys.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about heat presses or Insta. And look forward to talking to you again soon, Chris.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate it.